so excited to introduce my community today to Hanna Bier. She helps ambitious women become amazing moneymakers, step into the world of financial overflow, yes, please, without sacrificing their creativity, freedom, or joy. She's the author of Wealth from Within and the founder of Money Bliss, a process that helps women heal their relationship with money and build wealth in a soul aligned way. Today, we will tie financial flow in with healing. This is important. Resolving stress and how money is Hannah's favorite antidepressant. I love that. How are you, Hannah?
I'm so excited to be here. I've had all day to be excited about this. I live in Germany and it's 5 p.m., so it just feels like I've been buzzing all day long.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I realized that. Wow. What's your weather like over there right now?
It's surprisingly cold and it's very windy, and there's like a slight drizzle and then it stops. So I don't know. It's like typical spring weather, I guess.
Yes, well, very cool. I always think it's fun when we're on totally different time frames. I'm just starting my day, and when we jump off today, well, cheers you for a good night.
And I'll tell you to have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I think anytime I bring on somebody with finance talk for us, I always like to preface it with this is so important because if we have an area of our life that is extremely stressful, we don't always understand that that ripples over into ultimate health. And I think you're going to do like such a beautiful job of continuing to bring our listeners into this space today. But I do just want to layer that in. And even the point that you say how money is your favorite antidepressant, that are we giving listeners this whole thought of financial overflow as even a possibility that this could be affecting our health journey? What meeting our 80-year-old self could look like. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I would love to hear your journey and just how the financial flow piece helped you heal and heal from what when you say heal.
Yeah, so growing up, I was the skinny girl, totally anorexic, the girl floating down the hallway like a ghost, joints protruding. I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder and severe depression. I was so exhausted. My adrenals were totally fried, and I was just a teenager. So I managed to graduate from high school, and then in my early 20s, I didn't know what to do with my life, like so many young adults. And so I chose to go to university to study international fashion management, but I could barely get out of bed. I was so exhausted. And it was really a scary time for me because I saw all of my friends get their bachelor's and their master's and their PhDs, and they started doing internships and they were excited about their careers and they were so energetic. And I felt like this was the time that my life was supposed to start, but it felt like I was empty, like there was nothing in the tank for me. And at the time, I I didn't think of it this way, but I remember just the amount of tension that I was holding. I was doing all the yoga and all the relaxation techniques and rolling out my fascia with tennis balls, and I was doing the Ayurvedic stews and everything. And still, the muscles in my legs were like bricks. And my jaw, oh my God, I was massaging my jaw all day long and like nothing moved, nothing let go. And so I knew that I had a ton of emotional baggage. But at the time, I was just in so much pain that I didn't even really tie the two together. I didn't think that my inner emotional turmoil and my very bleak future was the reason why my body was hurting so intensely. And so I was trying all the things, eat healthy, work out, get some sunshine, and it just didn't do the trick.
Well, I appreciate you highlighting that because I think that, especially, I mean, the options, the tools that you just mentioned, to anyone, they should feel like I'm doing it. I'm doing what's recommended out there, and I should be seeing some really great results at this point. Or maybe I'm the lost cause, which I like to bring this up often because I feel like a lot of my clients feel that way, that maybe I'm the one that can't be helped by any of the tools. So, all right, so this is this first part of your journey, and obviously you've come out on this other side that when did your light bulb moment start to happen or that next phase of your journey where you're like, oh, now I'm making some progress. This is interesting.
Yeah, I will never forget that moment. So I ended up starting a business as an emotional healing coach because I had discovered these amazing emotional healing modalities. I started being trained in trauma resolution and family constellation therapy. So I started my first business when I was only 22. And as my clients were healing, I was healing. And then that business became quite financially successful. I moved to Amsterdam, and I remember for the very first time in my life, I felt like I could save. It felt like I could have money. And the first moment that I really felt my body change as a result of money was when my savings hit. I will never forget this number. It's so random. It was 17,500 euros. I don't know why it was that number, but I remember looking at my savings and I had 17,500 euros in my bank account. And I was renting this like tiny, tiny, very old, you wouldn't believe it. It was the smallest apartment. I had a toilet that was also a shower, and you had to pull a string to flush it. There was no way to install a washing machine because it was such an old house. Picture the smallest house. My place was even smaller than that. But I felt this whole body experience of just tension leaving my body. Like my entire body just went, and just a lifetime of constant tension, of constant worry, of constant terror about my future, and just this deep feeling of I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really stupid. I can't seem to get the simplest things right. Suddenly, I started to think, oh, okay, so next month's rent will be okay. Oh, so this business thing is working. Maybe I have a career that's actually viable. Oh, if I can save this, maybe I can do it again. Maybe I can begin to plan for my future. Maybe there's possibility and hope for me after all. And in that moment, I learned that relaxation isn't a hot bath. It's not a massage. It's not herbal tea. Relaxation to me is the deep, deep knowing that all is well. And that's
Hmm.
what created this really deep letting go within myself. And that's when I first started to think that for me, I think continuing to work on my relationship with money and allowing my money to stick around and grow and really building wealth is probably the exact thing I need to unwind from this ball of anxiety that I had been my whole life.
Right. And so interesting to your point, it was money tied, and you did not see that initially, like until the moment happened where you're like, whoo, that's it. That's what gave me what I've been seeking. So when you look at other clients or you look at other individuals, do you feel like, well, one, can you give other examples of where you've heard people have that same similar experience, whether that's within money or whether that's even just a totally different, they hear your story and go, I had that, but I had it in their own fill in the blank area.
Yeah, I had one client who lost everything during the 2008 crash. Like lost business, lost houses, went bankrupt, and her entire family went down with her. And as a result, she also just had this deep feeling of why even bother? Like, why even bother setting goals? Why even bother marketing and growing my business? She's a nutritionist and personal trainer. And so she just really felt like everything could be taken from her at any moment. Like the rug could be pulled out. So she was just constantly living with this sense of restlessness and like speaking really fast. She's a nutritionist and personal trainer, and she knows all about the nervous system. She knows all about hormones. She's like so knowledgeable. And she said, I have this like belly jiggle, and it's embarrassing that I can't shift it with everything that I know. And so we started working together, and we started clearing all the trauma around those money experiences that she had had and all the stories that she started to believe as a result of it. Like, I'm not capable. It's not worth it. Money could be taken at any moment. You can work really hard and still you get screwed. All of those feelings, we started clearing them, releasing them. And she started to run her business just for the joy of it. And she started thinking, maybe working is good for me. Maybe participating in my community by offering my services is good for me. Maybe getting to help my clients is the thing that I need in order to heal. But obviously, a side effect from doing great work is that you get compensated very abundantly. And so, as money started flowing in, and as our clients started thanking her, and as she rediscovered the joy and fun that is money, the belly jiggle went away that she had
Mm.
been working so hard to release. And so, I think that oftentimes our bodies hold tension or hold certain shapes or hold something that just doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel like our true self. And then when money is allowed to be the source of love and the source of warmth and the source of care, to me, money really feels like the stuffy that lets me sleep at night. Money is the thing that lets me know that if things go south, at least I have a bunch of money to get some help. And so for her as well, as soon as her body started letting go, it really shifted.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. As we keep talking, like something, a trauma to let go of or unpacking, limiting beliefs, you're really good around all of this. That I could see listeners being like, why do you keep bringing on trauma? Yes. Why do you keep bringing on? It's so interesting how until we understand this deeper work to that a lot of people are not privy to understanding that this is all tied together. You cannot separate all of these pieces and get like this optimal health that we're looking for. And when people do, some people might be lucky, but like the deep work has to get done. And you do a really good job of describing that. I think that the next question that would be asked out of a lot of individuals would be, you keep saying we do the trauma work, we release something. Can you give them a visual of like, what does releasing look like?
Yeah, so I'm an energy healer. This is how I started. I started being an energy healer, an emotional healer, family constellation therapist. And from there, my business shifted more and more into money healing, because my clients just started asking for it more. There was so much demand that my business slowly shifted over in this direction. But the tools that I use are still the same. And so I either use family constellation therapy, healings that work on your family of origin to resolve any places where you can't receive money, where you can't have money, where money is hard, where money comes with a sacrifice, where money is not something that's dependable. I'm the granddaughter of child refugees. My grandpa and my grandma on my mom's side were forced to leave the Eastern European countries of the time to flee to Germany. They saw incredible destruction and death and murder along the way. They were just 10 and 11 years old. Totally heartbreaking. And so the money story and the money feelings of my family of origin, like they lived inside of me. My terror around money and my deep fear that it could just be taken in a moment may have seemed irrational based on my circumstances. But if we take my history into account and what my family had been through, it's not so irrational and it makes perfect sense. And so I really needed to heal this. So I use these family healings and then on our individual basis, I like to connect my clients with a really wonderful healing flow of energy that I call the light. It's like taking a really nice inner shower and just the light flows through you and all of your fears and worries and tensions and all of your stops and can'ts and won'ts and shouldn'ts. And it's too hard, takes too long. I've tried it before, it didn't work then. Why now? Nobody likes me. Nobody's gonna buy. It's too hard. And like all the long, 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 long,
So
long, long list
good.
of reasons of why you can't
Good.
possibly be well taken care of with money. Just wash it all away because money is love. And you deserve to be so loved and so safe and be so well taken care of.
I can't even imagine how much unpacking of limiting beliefs around money happens. And again, the hope piece that you're like, no, we can work on that. You can get out of that brain space and move forward. But if we don't know to even look in that space, we don't know what we don't know, right? And so thank you for exposing this space. You mentioned the body aches and pains that occur when we hold unresolved stress and tension around money, and that you had that, like with your jaw and with, did all of that resolve when you really started working with this, or do you still have lingering effects that you take care of right now? Like, what happened with the body?
Yeah, a big piece shifted. What the most amazing thing was for me was that the relaxation stuff and the working out and the nutrition, it started working significantly better.
Mm.
Before, it felt like even just with my thigh muscles, like they were really like bricks. They were so hard. And now I'm still quite fit and I have a lot of muscle, but the muscle is soft. And some days I touch myself and I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I don't have this insane muscle tone all the time to the point of it hurting. But now, if I feel uncomfortable in my body, I can stretch it out, I can roll it out, I can go for a walk, I can do a workout, I can work with my body, and the results last. And it actually works. Of course, working out works. Of course, eating well works. Of course, all of it works. But for me, it was just working against all of this emotional turmoil that I had been holding inside. And so it just wasn't able to work for me in the way that I really needed it to. So, the financial stuff helped me feel a lot more secure, and that opened up for my body to get to gradually release and just feel a lot better.
I love that you said all the other tools were there and that it's like this last piece opened up that magical door that let everything else work how it was supposed to work. Because we were just having this conversation the other day with a client and her frustration of not seeing like the one piece that she wants to see. And there was two of us coaching on this group call and we were both like, but you have all these other things that are going amazing. But when you're the person wanting this one very specific result, it's hard to see the big picture. And then the other coach said what you said, that we're just missing a puzzle piece, missing that will give the release. And you kept going. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you would have quit, you would have never found that. Right? Like you kept banging down
Yeah.
different doors until your next measurement of success came for you. So I love people's stories. It gives so much hope. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your book too. Let's go the money space only for a second, just for fun.
My book is called Wealth from Within. It's a very concise read. I don't like having my time wasted. So sometimes people read my book and they're like, "Oh, it's so good," and like such few pages. So if you have kids like me that are still really young or out of control dogs or something, and you're like, "Oh my God, another book," read this book because it's very concise. If the approach to money that I'm sharing with you today resonates with you in some way, or if it feels like money has been a source of stress or overwhelm or constant feelings of not enough, and it just really feels like you need to shift something, you need to feel differently about money, you need to get new results with money, you need to get a new experience with money, pick up the book. There's also an audiobook version available, and just explore the Money Bliss way of life. I call it the Money Bliss approach, the Money Bliss way of life, because I just really think that we can be and should be blissfully happy with money. Money is a lifelong relationship. We will always be interacting with money in some way. And hardly anybody has a truly pleasurable, joyful, positive, life-giving, fun, secure relationship with it. How many people do we know who feel relaxed about money? When I think about my environment, regardless of how much people have, everybody's stressed. And so if you want to be the person who's wealthy and relaxed and who feels really good and who can focus on things like your parenting and your health with the support of money. My money, my wealth makes me a better parent, a better friend. It helps me sleep better at night. So if this resonates with you, read the book and let me know how you like it.
I love it. So if people are going, yes, I'm going to read the book, and then like, where are your other areas that are good to connect and follow and come into your happy money space?
Yes. So my website, hannabier.com, that's HANNABIER.com. And earlier I shared about this inner light shower that washes away the stress and the tension and the worries and the overwhelm, and so just think about how every day you probably brush your teeth and you take a shower every now and then, right, to wash away the dirt from your day. You should be doing the same on the inside. And hardly anybody does that, if anybody at all, right? Like we just go through life when we accumulate all these uncomfortable emotional situations until we're really full. Like we have so much emotional stuff. And then we also inherit stuff from our parents and our grandparents. And it's just a lot to carry through life with us. And from that place, it's often really hard to find a new approach to money or a new approach to our goals. And so I have a free light shower on my website. It's the 10-minute wealth creation ritual. So if you're like, oh my God, I've got some stuff, just start there. Just start with a daily 10-minute light shower. I've been doing it over 10 years. I'm still so in love with it. It feels so good. Just like you brush your teeth every single day and you don't really stop, you should be doing a light shower every day. It's under hannabier.com/wealth.
Okay, perfect. And we'll put everything in the show notes. And I hope listeners, we keep saying this, but like take action with these podcasts, with these beautiful guests, with free items waiting there for you to just go grab and experience it for yourself. Which would be amazing. If you could wrap your arms around our listeners and just if they hear nothing, because I think that like we are in a life of overwhelm. So if you could boil it down to like if you heard nothing else I said today, this is what I need you to walk out with. What would that look like?
It would be that you are right. The thoughts and feelings that led you to start listening to this podcast episode are right on the money, pun intended. Those desires that you have with money, the freedom, the security, the joy, the fulfillment, the peace of mind that you want to feel with money are valid goals and you can create them. And in this podcast episode, there are next steps hidden in there for you. Just listen to your body. It's going to show you what your next step is and just take it. You're going to have a lifelong relationship with money. Why not make it amazing? And there's something inside of you already calling you.
I love the next steps are hidden within. You're right. But we have to be intentional and listen and take the next step. So, oh, you're amazing, Hannah. Thank you. What am I not asking before we let you go that you are hoping that our community hears today?
I wouldn't even know how to really phrase the question, but I think the thing that's been kind of hanging out in the air is that money goes so much deeper than just the numbers, than just the accomplishments, than just the showing off our houses and our designer bags and our shoes and our cars and all of that stuff. Money really is a path of emotional development. Money is a way that you love yourself. The way that your relationship with money looks today very much shows us how you love yourself. Do you meet your needs? Do you fulfill your desires? Are you on a path that honors who you are and that honors what you need? So any of the listeners who feel like, it's just money, it's so frivolous, it's so tacky to talk about. It's so silly. Your development, your evolution with money has the potential to give you those things that you've been longing for your whole life, that you've been looking everywhere for. And with the use of money, you can give that to yourself. For me, I've always been longing to feel secure. And I was always told, oh, that's not real. You can't have it. And I have created a lot of security with money. And I just love that I now know what that feels like.
Right.
And so yeah, money isn't shallow, money isn't silly.
That's so good. So good. Thank you. Thank you for your time today, your little breakaway from kiddos, and now you get to start your evening. Come back and join us sometime.
I would love that. Sending love.